Exclamation Afro here. And man, it's been a while since I've done a video from my desk, but I don't want to clean off my chair over there because I'm lazy. So, today I'm going to be talking about Season 1 of The Walking Dead, so please be aware for spoilers from the Season 1 of The Walking Dead Telltale game, as well as some spoilers for the comic book as well, because they're the same universe. First and foremost, I want to say how great the story is. Telltale is just really, really good at telling the story and getting you into the story, just like Robert Kirkman is with the books of the comic, and getting you emotionally attached to the characters. And I'd say even more so. I don't know if it's because Telltale's just better, or because I think it's partially when you're actually playing as the character and making the decisions, instead of them just coming to you, it just becomes a lot more emotional. I think that's part of the reason. And that's definitely the best part, is just the story and all the characters, and at the end of each episode I really love how it shows you what choices you made compared to everyone else. I really, really like that. Really like it. In fact, at the end of episode 2, I was kind of just so floored by the way it ended. Not episode 2. Yeah, season 1, episode 2. That's the one where, with the cannibals on the farm. That one, I don't know what it was about that one, but that one just floored me, and at the end I just had to put it down. Like, I couldn't start the next episode, even though I had the full season. I just had to put it down and go play something else, because I don't know what it was, it was really intense. But definitely, that's the best thing about the game, is the story. And the difficult choices, although I kind of found a way to get around that. Some of the choices, you don't have much time to make them. If you press the guide button or the home button or whatever it's called now on the Xbox One, it'll like go to the home screen, the dashboard, but of course it shrinks the game down just a little window, so you can have time to read all the choices and make a decision. I'll admit I did that once or twice for some of the really quick decisions. But yeah, that's also like decisions you have to make. They're just so hard sometimes. Just a really, really intense game, story-wise. And I think that's the... it was so tough trying to make the decision you wanted while keeping the group happy, or keeping people you want to be happy. Like, I want to be friends with Kenny just because he was like the first person, or one of the first people I met, and he just seemed like a genuinely nice guy until partway through he started becoming a jerk. So there's him, and there's that other woman who he was always arguing with. I wanted to sign with Kenny because he was my friend, but he did some really stupid stuff sometimes that I couldn't do it. I just had to facepalm. And I was hoping he'd be able to come over to season 2, but no, I think everyone's gone. including, oh wow, my brain's gone blank. The main character. I was really surprised to see him die at the end. Once he got bitten, I didn't know how they're going to do it to have him survive to the next season. I thought he was going to survive. I was like, but he's bitten. How does he survive being bitten? And he doesn't, so it just starts over. It's really interesting to see here. The playable character gets killed. So it's not a story about him and... Wow, what's wrong with me today? I can't remember the girl's name. Jeebers. I thought it was going to be a story about those two, but I guess it's just a story about the girl. I'm sorry, I have to look this up. That's terrible of me. Lee and Clementine, I don't know how I forgot that. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a story all the way through with Lee and Clementine, but no, it's just about Clem, which is... I know, that was really depressing when he died. And I had Clem shoot him, which I think like 80 or 90% of people did, instead of letting him turn. That's just really rough, that it basically just starts over from the beginning in season 2. That just like after I did it, I was like, what? Oh, just that hit me really hard too. So yeah, amazing story. It looks pretty good, the little cel-shaded stuff. I've always liked that, and Carrie's, well, like Wind Waker's 10 years old now. It still looks like a really good game, even though it's 10 years old, and on Nintendo, who generally produces less good looking games, which those cel-shade graphics age so well. Anyways, some parts, I'm going to talk about the bad parts now. The first is invisible walls. The bane of gaming, invisible walls. There are a lot of invisible walls in this game. A lot. And that's just so annoying. Like, put a like it's zombie apocalypse, so like put a barricade there or something instead of an invisible wall. And while there aren't many times where you go into first person, there are a few times throughout the series where you go into first person to like you have to shoot some zombies, and there's no choice to invert the y-axis. And I'm a weirdo and I invert my y-axis on games. So I screwed up a couple of times because I was trying to look up. I was looking down instead, because you can't invert the y-axis. And that's one of the things that drove me really crazy about the game, even though it didn't happen often. And my third biggest complaint, they seem to fix this later in the game, about how it was that the cursor wouldn't move with the screen. So if you had the cursor over, say, Clementine, and kept walking, as the screen would move and follow Lee, the cursor would stay over Clementine, so it looked like the cursor was moving across the screen because it would just be staying in the same spot, if that makes sense. And later, in the later episodes, they had it so it actually stayed in its position relative to the screen, which is nice. It was just annoying at the beginning. And I think that's about it. The good and the bad. And it's a very, very good game. And if you haven't played it, I highly suggest you do. Oh, I mentioned spoilers for the comic. I can't think of what I might have spoiled. But I really like how it tied into the comic. I thought it was going to be a different universe with some of the same characters because Glenn's there and Herschel's there. But it actually ties into the comic, and I guess the show in a way too, but the show definitely is a different universe. Anyways, so like you meet Glenn, and after a while he ends up going to Atlanta. Well, in the comic, Rick meets Glenn outside Atlanta. Or when you meet up with Herschel on his farm, his son, there's no way you can shoot. You have to choose between either saving Duck, who's Kenny's kid, or Herschel's son. And I looked it up just to see if there's a way I could stay on the farm longer, like after I finished the game. No matter who you choose to save, Herschel's son dies. And in the comic, he has his dead zombified son in his garage. I just thought that was cool. Anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say. So be sure to like this video if you liked the video. Tell me what you thought of the game down below, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.